Hi guys. Okay, so I'm going to break down um, this really fascinating passage that God led me to a while back that I haven't shared yet. So He told me to read the book of Zechariah, the book of Revelation, and the book of Daniel. And I've already read those books before, but He told me to reread them. And then as I was reading them, I was just like mind blown. Um, the first two books I think I'll get into way in the future because they're super crazy. But this last part of the book of Daniel, so I think that I'm something called a signs and seasons prophet because what that means is things just line up. You get specific revelations on holidays, like mostly on Jewish holidays, and then you'll have sometimes on other holiday, like regular holidays. Like I have had revelations on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but lately it's just been coming like daily. So this one was given to me very soon after I went to this conference. That was a prophecy conference, and the people, one of the people there said that after this conference, some stuff from the book of Daniel is going to be revealed to the people. And so God gave me this revelation of the book of Daniel about this passage, this specific passage. I opened it up and it just happened to open to chapter 2. So I read chapter 2 and then God gave me what it meant. So here it is. Okay. First of all, backtrack. I'm sorry, I backtrack a lot, but that Sunday I happened to. This is a couple days before I received this revelation, but that Sunday I happened to reveal that there is what God gave me a vision of for the spirit of chaos and the spirit of division, and the spirit of chaos was this big poofy cloud that looked like this big toxic cloud, and he had a face like a leech with these big old teeth, and then he was twisting these valves like one way and the other way, and then God told me he's trying to make a nuclear bomb, but he will not prevail. I will protect you, but at some point I'm going to send you out of San Diego. So I shared that with my church that Sunday, and I also shared my vision from the previous week, which was about the spirit of division, which I'll link to because I wrote a blog post about it, but I'll link to it below. And then, like, 3 women came up and were saying, as you were speaking, I had like a similar vision. And so it was really crazy. The confirmation was super crazy. And one of the women said that as I was speaking, she said she saw God was going to destroy the foundation of the church with a nuclear bomb. And so that relates to this passage right here, which I'm going to read. So chapter 2, Daniel chapter 2, verses 31 through 35, but also 40 through 40 through 43 or 42. Okay, anyway, so it says, it talks about this great image whose splendor was excellent, and it stood before you, and its form was awesome. This image's head was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. You watched while a stone was cut out with hands, which struck the image on its feet of iron and clay and broke them into pieces. Then the iron, the clay, and the bronze and the silver and the gold were all crushed together and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away so that no trace of them was found, and the stone which struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. And then it talks about how and the 4th kingdom shall be as strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything, and like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others. Whereas you saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, the kingdom shall be divided And yet the strength of the iron shall be in it, just as you saw with the iron mixed with ceramic clay. And as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so this kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. Let's see. So what God showed me was that this is relating to, he is going to destroy the foundations of the church, basically, super basic. But so this stone that he's going to use is relating back to Jesus. Jesus is going to destroy the foundation of this idol that was built based on a Babylonian government, Babylonian system, and but God told me it's the church. It's the church. It traces back to this Babylonian system, and he's going to destroy it because that's not how it was meant to be. The structure isn't right. It's based off idolatry or something like that, and because basically this statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw was an idol, and it was created by the Babylonian system, Babylonian government, and so when it talks about how the stone is going to crush the foundation of this image, let's see, where does it say that again? It says, and the stone struck the image, and it became a great mountain that filled the whole earth. So this is talking about how the church is still, even today, it's still tied to the government. So we have this 509c3 or something like that regulates the churches. That's tied to the government. It's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be freestanding. It's supposed to be just people worshiping God and not really bringing the message out to the world, not just having people sit down in a church and then go home and do their thing and then go back every Sunday. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be making people disciples and then sending them out so that the message gets spread. So that God is going to destroy how it is right now, and he's going to replace it with the kingdom that will stand forever. And when it talks about the potter's clay and the iron, so the potter's clay is relating to people, of course. I mean, it's all relating to people, but the potter's clay is going to be how God meant for us to be soft. He wants us to be soft-hearted, not hard-hearted, which was how that's why the metal, it was all talking about metal, because it's stiff and it's immovable and it's hard-hearted, basically. And so the clay is soft, it's malleable. That's what he wants us to be. He wants us to be soft-skinned. He wants us to be like flesh, not like metal, not like something that's gonna have to be melted. He wants us to be able to be pushed in the right direction and molded into what he wants us to be. So that's why it talks about some of it is going to be potter's clay. That's going to be the one that's movable, that's teachable, and then the other part is going to be divided. As I talked about the spirit of division, it's going to be divided, and so that's what he showed me, is that's why it's going to be divided, is because some parts of the church are going to want to still be hard-hearted, and some parts of the church are going to want to be malleable and be made into what God wants us to be. And so, but ultimately it's going to be destroyed, and God is going to replace it with something brand new, and it's never going to be destroyed. So that is that, and sorry it's super long. I ramble a lot, but I'm going to post another video real quick about some other visions that I've had that I've just kind of been hoarding, because God gives me a new one almost every day, so it's hard to keep up with them. But thank you guys for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.